Hello there lovely people, my name is Sophia and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. Today I'm building in Oasis Springs in the Skyward Palms neighborhood, and this is going to be a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom home, and this home is entirely base game and I had a lot of fun with it. I built this in the week upcoming to the release of my wedding stories, so this has been sitting in my storage for a little while now. Mostly because I took a bit of a break from uploading content just because I've been swamped with school lately, and to get this up I'm still kind of slacking on school, honestly, but that's just me. I'm a huge procrastinator and I know lots of people can relate to that, so oopsie, but I am really happy to get something out for you guys because I'm really happy with how this home came out. This ends up being a more mission style exterior because we have a lot of items to execute that well in the base game. I think that's why Tartosa worked so well, because we already had a lot of these sorts of items in the base game, so they didn't have to give us a lot of exterior or style wise items, so they could really focus on giving us wedding stuff. But this isn't a pack using no, this isn't a build using my wedding story, so I shouldn't talk about that, but I'm lining out the front yard with a bunch of hedges. I'm pretty sure these are live edit hedges if I'm not mistaken, because I love using live edit landscaping, but I really like how the front of this house came out. It makes me very happy. There's no backyard to this house because this is a 30 by 20 lot, so it's not that big, but this house ends up being quite big because along with the 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, there's an office and a home gym. So there's lots of space in the interior. So that made me very happy. I wasn't expecting this home to be that big, just because I think it looks deceiving from the front, because I did just make it really big at the back. I don't know, I just continued to pull out the rooms, so I don't know, bigger than I expected, but I'm really happy with how it came out. There was tons of space to furnish on the interior, even though I really did struggle with the floor plan because of these long, skinny bump outs on either side, and also the diagonal walls on the front. They made it really, really hard for me to floor plan this home, and I struggled with it, but you won't get to see me struggle because I just ran through the floor plan smoothly for you guys so you wouldn't get frustrated, because I was very frustrated trying to work this out. But I did add a chimney on the exterior there because I did add a fireplace into this home. If you have seasons, I'm not too sure if it even gets cold in this part of Oasis Springs, even in winter. So I don't know how that works. Maybe the fireplace is just for decoration because Oasis Springs is a warmer world, so I'm not too sure about it, but I end up adding a barbecue zone outside in this front courtyard and quite a few fountains. I add these little fish fountains into the landscaping over here, which I thought looked adorable. It added to the more luxurious feel to this home that I was aiming for. I imagine that the family who lived here had quite a bit of money, so that was what I was going for. So there's very prim and proper landscaping here. It's very clean and organized, and I was really happy with what I did with the central fountain there because I added some floor decals that are meant to go inside of pools, but I thought it looked like interesting tiling underneath of the fountain because otherwise it looked a bit out of place, and I just used them to center it into the courtyard. But we've kicked off the landscaping here, and I use mostly green plants and quite a few of the items you can see around the world, which is mainly succulents and cacti. I'm not too sure the difference there. I'm not a plant person, so I wouldn't know. But I also added some yellow and white flowers that you can see around the world here, and I used this more reddish swatch of the rocks that you can find in the build catalog, just because I thought it fit the area a little bit better. But there's lots of landscaping out here, even though I kind of toned it down. I'm not too sure. Would you consider this over landscaped for what it is? I really liked how it looked, but I really didn't want to overdo it because we are in Oasis Springs, which is a desert world, if I'm not mistaken. So overdoing it with the landscaping doesn't really fit, in my opinion. But I don't know, if you wanted more plants, you could easily add it. I normally don't include this much tiling in the fronts or just generally in my homes, just because I like the look of grass. I'm a grass girl. What can I say? So I don't know. I was kind of uncomfortable with it at first, but I really like how it came out in the end. It ends up adding good distinction to the front yard. So there's a distinct spot for the barbecue, a distinct spot for the car, and I'm just really happy with how it looked. I keep looking for a word to describe it that I really can't find right now, so if you have a better word for how you describe the layout of this yard, do let me know. But I'm just fiddling with how I want the car to sit there. I kind of wanted to have it on an angle to make it look a bit more realistic, if you will, but then it was just bothering me that it wasn't perfect, so I swapped it out to be straight on to that fountain. But this is the last segment of landscaping in the front yard before we're going to be working a bit more on the barbecue area, I'm pretty sure. There's a few cuts while I did the landscaping because my landscaping has no rhyme or reason to it, and my only strategy is to just do a plot of landscaping, look at it. If I hate it, I'll gut it and do it again, and just rinse and repeat till I like what I've done. So I gutted those plots of landscaping a handful of times, which is why you saw a few cuts there. But this is that barbecue area I've been talking about. I added a little bucket of champagne that I'm pretty sure is a reward for doing a good date in The Sims, which I thought was cute. I was thinking about that champagne bucket that came with my wedding stories at the time, so I guess that was on the mind, but I considered adding a candle here for a second, but then I changed my mind, and because I changed my mind, there is nothing from the holiday pack in this house. It is entirely base game, so that should be a bit easier for you guys if you don't have the holiday pack, but I think it's a bit strange that the holiday pack even exists anymore, because since the introduction of the Sims delivery service, or Delivery Express, whatever it's called, it's pretty much made the holiday pack obsolete, because they can just add items like that directly to base game, like they did last December to add a few decorations like fruitcakes and stuff. So it would be a lot more convenient for everyone if the Sims team just merge the holiday pack into base game, in my opinion. But I added a few of these canal ivy pieces on these interior walls of sort of the entry part of the home, just because I realized that we didn't have any ivy in base game while I was building this house, and I don't know why I expected it. Like I expected ivy to exist in the base game, because I don't really think it suits a lot of the world, so I don't know why I expected it, but I just used those debug plants, which are canal ivy pieces. I'd expect to find them either in the world in Newcrest or Willow Creek, just because, I don't know, they're a bit more lush than Oasis Springs. But I was really happy with how it looked there. It took me a few tries to make it look good, but I am happy with how it came out in the end. And we are onto the floor plan now. And you can see me even struggling to recreate the floor plan I'd already planned out for this, and this is a smooth run through of the floor plan, so you can see how it gave me a bit of a headache. A handful of diagonal walls in there, which are always uncomfortable, but I'm really happy with how it came out in the end, and I am pleased with this floor plan. But we are working on the living room now. I end up using a lot of items that came to base game in the Caribbean update a few years ago now, like these chairs and sofas, and I'm pretty sure the coffee table is too, and this plant. But this is that fireplace I was mentioning before. I'm not too sure if you'll even want a fireplace if you have seasons and you play in this house, because this is a warmer world, but I just liked how it looked in there. It filled up the space nicely, and once again, if you just have base game, you don't really have to worry about the temperature, so no biggie. But the dining room ends up being over here, and you can see me struggling with the tool mod to place these curtains and scale them up, because I wanted them to fit the size of these archways, because I am building on the medium wall height, I'm pretty sure, which I don't do often, and it was scary, but anyways, and I had to scale up the curtains to make it fit, but I kind of struggled with it because I had to place the curtain where I wanted it to be scaled up before I even scaled it, otherwise it would have outdoor lighting when I moved it for some reason, so it was a bit tricky. I did it all throughout the first floor, and I just couldn't be bothered cutting it out, honestly, so you can see me struggle for brief moments here and there, just because I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not very good at tool mod, but I'm getting there. Practice makes perfect, you know, I'll get there in the end. But For now, I'm scaling down some armchairs and adding some towel decorations on the top of them to make them look like storage bins, because we really are lacking on just, I don't know, normal decorations in the base game, like regular storage boxes and stuff like that. We got pretty much all of the decorations like that exist in the game from Dream Home Decorator, and because this is a base game home, I couldn't include them. So yeah, I just had to make do with what I had, if you know what I mean. But this is where the kitchen ends up being, and as you can see, very open floor plan in here. Don't really think that fits the style, but I imagine the interior of this home had been renovated quite a bit because, I don't know, it just had more modern vibes to me, and I did imagine the family who lived here was rich, so I don't think they'd have any problem renovating the interior of this home. But I added a bar into this kitchen because I've just really been enjoying adding bars lately. I'm not sure why. It's probably because I always end up with tons of snob sims in my current households. I don't know where they keep coming from. I can't escape the snob trait in The Sims 4, and snobs really, really love their nectar. So I think it's a bit more convenient for that part of gameplay to just have a bar on the lot instead of having to go down to an actual bar. So, I don't know, I guess it's sort of been on the mind lately, but I just add a few decorations in here, like that strange stick plant decoration. I always struggle to find it because it's not in the plant section, and I'm pretty sure it's in the miscellaneous decorations, which it suits being there, but it's still a strange decoration piece that I have difficulty using. I really only use it when I'm using base game just because very limited on options, but I'm starting to add clutter to this kitchen here, and lately I've been sort of slacking on adding clutter to my kitchens. I always just put it off, say I'll do it later, and then I don't end up cluttering up the kitchen. And while it looks good in some cases, it's really just me getting lazy, so I wanted to push myself to really try and decorate this kitchen a bit more than I would otherwise. If you like your Sims kitchens a bit more uncluttered, you could easily just remove it all, but I especially struggle with placing the stuff here on the island piece because I really struggle with centering decorations on an island piece. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. It's really difficult. But practice makes perfect, so I just decided to go for it here anyways, just adding a few kitchen decorations, you know, like spices, salt and pepper. I really love those little salt and pepper shakers that we got with a delivery in December last year, pretty sure. I just really love them. It came with a bunch of like cakes and stuff too, and I just think they're so cute. And I do want to apologize if you hear any snuffling in the background. That is because my dog is in the room with me, and he's currently asleep, and he is a wiggler when he sleeps. So if you hear him huffing and puffing and moving around, I'm very sorry, but he's a good boy, so he gets to stay in the room with me. But this is the first bathroom we'll be decorating. There are 2 downstairs, 2 upstairs. One of the ones upstairs is an ensuite for the master bedroom, but I don't show the upstairs bathrooms just because it would be a bit too repetitive for my tastes. I did keep both of the downstairs bathrooms in just because I decorated them in such quick succession that it just made sense to keep them both in the recording, and they're pretty different from each other, so I didn't think it would be too repetitive. But there's a bathtub in here. I thought it looked really nice in front of those tall windows looking out over the water. I imagine that would be really nice, even though, knowing me, I'd be paranoid people would walk past and just peer in, but you don't have to worry about it. Oh god, I'm losing my words again. I'm sorry, but you don't have to worry about that in The Sims. So, no biggie, but this is the second bathroom that I'm decorating. Just decorating it right after that one. I just wanted to get them out of the way, if you couldn't tell. I don't really like decorating bathrooms. They're the most boring part of a home for me personally, but I don't know. I'm trying to make them a little bit more different from each other, trying to start enjoying decorating bathrooms because, I don't know, everything can spark a little bit of joy if you try hard enough, so I'm working on that. But there's a shower in here. I don't know if I said that already, but there's a few different options for your Sims in bathrooms in this home. I'm pretty sure both of the bathrooms upstairs have showers. No, I'm lying. The ensuite has a bathtub, so pretty even mix of bathing options in here, so that's fun. I also wanted to make sure there was enough bathtubs in this home because There is a toddler in this household. I don't think I mentioned the family I imagine living here. I didn't think too hard on them, honestly. I don't really do that for base game homes because, to be fair, I don't really know what features are in base game, so it's just easier to decorate instead of thinking of Sims who live here. But I imagine this home was for up to 2 parents, a child Sim, and a toddler. I wanted to include a toddler's bedroom because I really do neglect that life stage in my builds. My favorite life stage to decorate for would have to be children, so I've made so many kids' rooms over the time that I've been building in The Sims, but not many toddler rooms, so I decided to include a toddler here. But just because I love decorating kids' rooms so much, I did include a child Sim, and I don't know, I do prefer the toddler's room over the child Sim's room though, which is fun. But this is that entryway, which is very wonky. It's slightly asymmetrical, which killed me. I hated it so much, but I had to just deal with a little bit of imperfection in that room just to make sure the rest of the house flowed well, so it was a necessary sacrifice, but I do like how I decorated the room, so it's not too big of a deal, and I am happy with the end product. But this is a tiny hallway that leads off to the last bathroom we decorated and the home gym. And in the home gym, I'm pretty sure we're going to be decorating that now, yeah. I end up getting a punching bag, a weight machine, and a treadmill. And I made sure to place the treadmill in front of those nice open archways because I was imagining it'd be really nice to go for a run and have the breeze from the outside rushing in. I don't know. I just thought that would be really pleasant. You could go for a run outside to get the same benefits, but I don't know. Maybe your Sim's a loner and they don't want to face people, so they can just run on their treadmill inside and still have the wind on their face, which is nice. But I add a speaker in here, I'm pretty sure, or a stereo, whatever it's called, I can't really remember, and just a few gym mats. I didn't like the look of covering the entire room with mats, and I really just placed the mats because I can imagine workout equipment isn't very kind to hardwood floors, but thankfully in The Sims we don't have to we don't have to care about that. So anyways, we've moved on to the office now, and I really like how this office came out. The gym and the office are very skinny rooms, very long, like I've said a few too many times, but I am happy with how it came out. I really liked using this rug throughout the house. It was sort of just the main item I was focusing on, if you will, but I do accidentally pull the desk a little too far away from the wall, and I didn't realize that while I was decorating it, but I did notice when I was taking the screenshots, so I did put it a bit closer to the wall where it's meant to be, so don't worry about that. But I did end up adding a bonsai tree in here. I'm pretty sure that raises your Sim's gardening skill if you don't have seasons, because then it raises the flower arranging skill, which I was a bit bummed about when I got seasons, honestly, because the bonsai tree is just a really easy way for your Sims to... stuttering over my words, apologies. But it's just a really easy way for your Sims to gain skills. It's not a lot of work, it's just really nice, and I used them all the time before I got seasons, but then I didn't want all of my Sims to do flower arranging, so I kind of stopped using them. Now they're more for decoration than anything, in my builds at least, so I don't know, they look nice. I'm very happy that we got some new swatches to the legs in that massive base game swatch update, because beforehand we only had one swatch on the bonsai tree, and it was like a reddish wood tone, so it didn't really fit with a lot of builds, but I'm happy it's more versatile now. But we have just moved upstairs, and I'm decorating the landing, the hallway. It's one big room, it's a strange shape, but that's hallways for you. They can be a bit wonky in my opinion, but I added a 2-tile staircase into this home because I felt like it was a bit more luxurious than just a single tile staircase. But this is the child Sims room, and I was really happy to use this wallpaper. I really do enjoy it. I think it's another piece of content that came with the Caribbean update, if I'm not mistaken, and I love it. Especially this swatch of it, and I was really happy to use this swatch in here, but we have pretty much no other objects in base game that match this swatch of pink, so it was really difficult for me to work out decorating this room. It took me a few tries, but I like how it came out in the end. I imagine the Sim wanted to be a doctor when they grow up, so I gave them a science table. I also gave them that poster, which looks like it could be some doctor reality TV show or soap opera or something like that. If you get to work, you could actually have this child grow up and become a doctor, which would be really sweet, but if not, I'm pretty sure this kid would be fine going off into the business career or perhaps being an astronaut. I don't really remember what careers came with base games, so couldn't tell you. That's why I don't really plan out stories for the families in my base game homes, because I don't know what they can actually do. But I gave them a TV in here. Lucky kid. They also have an oversized bunny. I love this plushie. It is so cute. I'm pretty sure it's unlockable by completing the egg collection, but I just place it down whenever I want because it's adorable. But this is the toddler's room, and I do prefer this toddler's room to the child sims room. I don't know, I just think it's really cute. I like the color scheme I ended up going for in here. It's very orange and green, and I'm just really happy with how it came out. I used tons of items that were added in the toddler update to base game, like these wool decorations. I just think they're so cute. I really enjoyed using the hot air balloons in particular, so I had quite a few cloud wool decals in here. I just think it looks really sweet, and just adding a few decorations on top of this dresser. It's a very bulky dresser, but it does come with some nice swatches, and by some nice swatches I mean 2, so I don't know. I did like using it in here though, but I just grabbed an armchair and a bookcase. I think I also end up giving this toddler some stacking blocks and maybe a doll's house, and then that will be pretty much it for this toddler's room. I'm really happy with how it came out. I liked using the dinosaur rug in here. I thought it was cute. I really do appreciate just how many kid-themed items we have in base game. There's tons of wallpapers, tons of decoration items, but I still really struggle with making kids' rooms with base game. I'm just not sure what it is. It's probably because most of the swatches and styles aren't really my thing or what I would normally go for in a kid's room, so I guess I struggle to use them, but I am happy with how it came out in the end, so I should really try doing base game homes more often. I don't do them very often at all, or limited pack builds, just because I like not having those restrictions, but it's a fun challenge, so I should do it more often, honestly. But this is the master bedroom. This is very nice and neutral. I'm actually really happy with how this room came out. I liked using that bed in here, even though it has a bit of a strange bed frame. I do like the neutral swatch of the duvet, so I really wish beds in The Sims 4 were separated bed frames and bedding, because that would make everything so much more versatile, and I would love that. I know modders have made that possible, but I would love for it to be a base game feature, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I guess we can just hope for The Sims 5, but this is the balcony that leads off from the master bedroom. I added a chess table and a gaming table out here where you can play cards. I would have loved that balcony to have access through a hallway, so it wasn't just exclusive to the master bedroom, but I just couldn't work it out with this floor plan, and it kind of annoyed me, but it's The Sims. Your kids will have no problem, like, just charging through the master bedroom to get out and play chess, so not a huge deal, but I will just be finishing up some landscaping at the back of the house here, just carrying through the same plants that I used on the front of the house, and then we will be coming up to screenshots. So I just want to say thank you for sticking around. I hope you liked this build. If you did, you can leave me a like or a comment to tell me what you think. It would absolutely make my day, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!